blah blah blah, blah 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 blah.
Remember, this video simplifies the subject and uses examples just to demonstrate how the vocabulary is used. Are you ready? Let's go then.
Try it again. Hello and welcome back to Legal Lingo ESL. My name is Simone. In this video, you are going to learn English vocabulary to help you talk about what makes a contract a contract. We work with contracts all the time. We use contracts when we sign on to use social media accounts, when we go shopping or out to eat. We use contracts when we get hired for a new job or find a place to live. But do you really know what makes a contract a contract? If you have a background in law, then of course you do. However, if English isn't your native language, or if you're a layperson, then you may be unfamiliar with the terminology used when we talk about contract formation. So, what is a contract anyway? A good place to start when we're unsure of the meaning of a word is the dictionary, of course. Black's Law Dictionary says, a contract is agreement between two or more parties, creating obligations that are enforceable or otherwise recognized by law. Okay then, that seems pretty straightforward. See you later, folks.
Not so fast there, Missy.
Hey there, Bruce.
What kind of party are we talking about here? Will there be techno?
You know, Bruce, this time I think you're actually onto something.
Really?
Yeah, I guess we don't actually know the legal definitions of the words used in this definition. That many definitions within definitions is too unstable. Okay, let's go back to the beginning. Agreement. Between two or more parties, obligations that are enforceable and recognized by law. We can better understand this definition by breaking it down into the 6 essential elements of a contract. First, we need an offer. Would you like to buy this gently used potato? The person who makes the offer is called the offerer. Remember, O for open. It comes first. Second, we need acceptance. Sure, I'd love to buy that gently used potato. The person who accepts the offer is called the offeree. Remember, E for end. It comes after. An offerer and an offeree make two parties. So, party refers to a person or an entity. If we know what kind of contract we're talking about, then we can change the terms offerer and offeree to something that tells us more about the parties as it specifically relates to the contract, such as the seller and buyer in a sales contract. The third thing we need is consideration. Consideration is defined as something of value given by both sides. Value can be financial or the performance of an act. I will give you this gently used potato if you give me $1 million. Or, I will give you this gently used potato if you wash my dishes. I don't know. I think it's cute. I don't know if I'm going to eat it. All right. The fourth element needed to make a contract is it must be legal or enforceable by law. This means that if something goes wrong, maybe someone doesn't uphold their end of the agreement, then you can go to the court and have the court enforce this contract. A classic example of illegal agreements are the buying and selling of controlled substances,
When the hitman you hired to kill your wife doesn't show up. I'm speaking hypothetically, of course.
Well, you get the picture. These sorts of transactions are not legal, thus not enforceable by law. The fifth thing we need to form a contract is capacity. Here, we are looking to see if a person or entity can form the contract. Can is used as the helping verb it is. We are looking for ability and permission. Ability looks at more of the mental state of an individual. Is a person mentally capable of understanding and making a contract? Examples of people who don't have mental capacity to form contracts are minors, mentally disabled people, and intoxicated people. When we look at permission, we're looking at whether the person or entity is legally permitted or authorized to make the contract. Think of these questions when determining permission. Are they the correct representative? Are they the owner or endorsed by the owner? Are they the legal guardian? What we're looking for here is what gives this person or entity the legal authority to make this contract. The sixth thing we need for a contract is mutuality. Mutuality is also known as a meeting of the minds. This goes beyond what may or may not have been done or said in previous stages of contract formation. Mutuality looks at the true intentions of the parties to make sure the intentions of all parties are really the same. Mutuality verifies that there are no issues of fraud, undue influence, duress, mutual mistake, or misrepresentation. If any of these flaws exist, then the contract could be at risk. I think I'm going to make a separate video discussing mutuality because I don't want this video to be too long and there's really a lot more that we should know about mutuality. Well, there you have it. Now you know the basic vocabulary of contract formation and what makes a contract a contract. Identifying these 6 key points of a contract when reading, writing, or translating a contract in English can help you better understand what you should look for and where you should focus your attention. Thank you so much for visiting my YouTube channel. You can also visit Legal Lingo ESL on these platforms for daily legal vocabulary posts. You can find a list of the key vocabulary words used in this video in the description box below. I hope to see you next time. Bye!